Hello, friends. How are you? How's life? How's things? How's your world? It is cold and raining here today, and that's okay. I don't mind. I didn't get to walk at lunch, though. I do miss my lunch walks when it's cold and raining. I brought a game with me today because I want to talk about it. This is Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition from or on the Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Switch platform version. I let this sit for a little while before I talked about it because I wasn't sure what to talk about. Xenoblade Chronicles is one of my favorite franchises from the Nintendo line. It's very quirky and strange, but I love the characters and the cute little Napon and like I like a lot about it. And this game is quite a departure from the mainline series of games. And this is the only one I hadn't played yet because I skipped the Wii. I didn't own a Wii. So I never played this version. And I got it pretty much like the week or maybe the week after it came out. Played through it. I spent about 120 hours on it, I think, and I finished it. And when I say I finished it, what I mean is I made it to the credits. And I haven't gone back. And that's why I kind of let it sit. I finished this a few weeks ago. It's been a while. Maybe even a month ago. I'm not sure. It's been sitting for quite a while now because I don't know how I feel about it. I enjoyed here's the thing. Xenoblade Chronicles is well known for its innovative, I don't know how you say that. Like battle mechanics, it kind of has this auto attack thing, but then there's these arts that you trigger, and you can do those in certain orders to trigger knockdowns. And once you've got knockdowns, you can trigger things, and you make combos, and you kill things. It just becomes this overpowered battling system once you figure it all out. Position matters, running around behind, but ultimately, in parts of the game, depending on the level of the enemies that you're in, you could just do nothing, and your characters will just, you can just waltz into an area and just kill stuff without having to really do anything. And that's on top of that, the other games in this series, the mainline sort of Xenoblade Chronicles games, are kind of like interactive anime. They have massive storylines, huge amounts of dialogue, and very, very long cutscenes. The kind of cutscenes that like the Switch goes dark before the cutscene ends because it thinks you're not paying attention. This doesn't have a lot of that. In fact, the cutscenes in this game are very few and far between, and they're all mission oriented. This isn't really like a big story kind of game. This game is open world, quest based, with a bit of a loose story that ties it all together. The story is very simplistic, very basic. There's not a lot to it. There's not a lot of character sidelines and developments and any of that kind of stuff. There's no big moments when you find out that the person that you've trusted the most has been the villain the whole time and all that stuff like that. There's none of that in here. This is a pretty straightforward, humans on planet need to accomplish X, do missions until you get there. And at first, I didn't enjoy that gameplay very much, because it like any JRPG, it has a huge learning curve. There's like I said earlier, there's all these depths to the battle system, and then on top of that you have the gear, and then on top of that you have characters, and then on top of that you have who have skills, and then on top of that you have classes, and the classes provide arts, and there's like so many layers to kind of min-max your party. And then on top of that, in this game, you get to power skells, which are skeletons or basically exoskeletons / mechs, whatever you want to call them. And those have their own arts and their own weapon. Like there's research that you can do. There's all of this side stuff. There's a kind of I don't want to say a love system, an affinity system is what it's called in the game, where you develop affinity with characters and that unlocks new things. There's like dozens and dozens of systems that you have to learn to be able to play this game like effectively. Or you can just level yourself on base level creatures and just spend a massive amount of hours if you don't feel like learning all of that. And so at first, I got the same feeling I always get. I love Xenoblade games, but I always feel in the beginning like, ugh, there's so much to learn. And then about like 30 or 40 hours in, you finally make it out of the tutorial. And I'm not joking about that. There's a lot of Xenoblade games where the tutorial is the first third of the game. And there are some where there's even other systems introduced at the very end of the game. Very bizarre. Like with the last hours of the game, you've introduced a whole new system, and then you have to use that to defeat the final boss. That's happened. And so anyway, the beginning of this game, I felt that like there's so much to figure out about this game, but at the same time, I absolutely love open worlds with hundreds of quest lines. And so what I found was after I got past that initial shock, I was really into this game. I very much enjoyed just the breadth and depth of the side quests and the kind of adjacent storylines. Like I said, the main story is extremely basic. There's not a whole lot to it. But there is a whole lot of sub-story because there's a whole lot of, what do they call it in this game? Xenos? There's a whole lot of other races that you can interact with, and you can bring them back to your city, and then suddenly now there's all of these other issues that crop up. And so there's all these really fun storylines. There's characters that you can unlock to use by going through their missions. So there is a lot of depth to the game. But I didn't finish it. I mean, I did. I got to the end credits. But like any JRPG or anything Nintendo does, that's not the end of the game. There's lots of content post credits. And this being the definitive edition means there's DLCs also that are included in this that you can go. Like there's a lot of content post credits. But what I found was I was pretty satisfied. Like at that point, I had played through the most challenging parts of the game. And I mean, there's ultimately bigger challenges. There's like, you end the game around level, say, 60-ish. There's level 99, things to go fight. But at some point, you're just grinding to try to level up so that you can fight those things. There's not really any interesting aspects to that. But for the most part, the systems that unlock while playing this game means that there are fun little moments where you feel a big jump in power because you suddenly have unlocked a higher level skill or whatever it might be. Ultimately, I had a freaking blast. But when I got to the credits, I was like, I think I got everything I need out of this. Like I said, if there was a more engaging story, I might have kept going. I might have finished some of the DLC and some of the post-game stuff. But the problem, the problem that I have is, like all of the JRPGs that have come before this, there are enemies everywhere. And while there is some, like, if you're 10 levels higher, the enemies won't attack you. That's not always true because there are surprise enemies that pop up out of the ground. There are, like, really aggressive enemies that just attack you regardless. And then there are gargantuans, I think they're called in this game. That it will also attack you. In combat, even when you're like 20 levels higher than whatever you're fighting, it takes a while. And it's annoying when it takes a while. When it's not satisfactory because you should be able to just kill these things no problem. And once you've gotten to your skill, so you've got these mechs you can pilot that you can kill just about everything except that they use fuel to do it. And now you're out something 20 levels lower than you attacks, and now you have to waste fuel killing this thing. It's really annoying. It's really, really, really annoying. And that's my biggest issue with the game. I think that's why I didn't feel like continuing, because it's just, come on. Like, when I'm 20 levels higher than something, there should not be a fight. It should just be move on with my life. But that's not how it is. And that's my biggest gripe. So while I very much enjoyed the game, I very much enjoyed unlocking new areas and finding new places to explore and going through all the side quests and the missions and the affinities and all that sort of stuff, ultimately I was annoyed by it by the end enough that I wasn't willing to continue. So I don't know what that review means for this game. I'd give it like without giving it the standard 7 for it's a good game, that's kind of where it sits for me. Somewhere between 7 and 8. It was great, but also not really worth going past, all of the time I spent on it. Yeah, that's what I think about Xenoblade Chronicles X. Have you played it? Do you want to play it? What do you think? Thoughts? I would say, I don't think there's a need to say that no spoiler. I don't think I spoiled it. There's nothing really to spoil. Like I said, there's not really a story in this game. The story is more about all the side stuff than the main story. The main story is just something to push you along, make you do stuff, I guess. Okay, let me know what you think in the comments. While you're down there, like the video. Ask a question that I can answer on a future episode. And please subscribe if you haven't done so. I like it when you subscribe. I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 12 happy thoughts for troubled times, and we are on number 6. Too often, we carry around things from our past that hurt us. Don't let regrets, shame, pain, and anger from the past rob you of your present happiness. Let go, move on, and walk forward. Yeah. This is one thing I don't do a whole lot of. I do not do a whole lot of... I reflect on the past, but I try not to beat myself up over it. Because I'm not who I am. Even an hour later, I'm a different person. And it's okay.